Hello, Boston businesswomen. It has been a minute since I've hopped into this community, and I'm really excited to come chat with you today. So if you are new to me, if you're unfamiliar, we haven't had an introduction yet. My name is Calandra. I am an intuitive brand designer and marketing strategist for visionary and spiritual entrepreneurs and women who are here to do really big fucking things. Excuse my language. So today I wanted to come in and talk with you about scaling without burnout and creating a brand and a business that is aligned to your energy and is able to scale and grow in a really sustainable way, because I see this so often with women who are doing powerful things in the world. We want to create such a big impact and we want to do all of the things, but we need to be able to do that in a way that honors our energy. It honors the way that we were meant to show up in the world. So I want to share a little bit about my background with that, my experience, and then some of the things that I see entrepreneurs doing that is misaligned and can throw them off the path. So as you're hopping on, as you're saying hello, pop in the comments, let me know where you're tuning in from, what your business is. I would love to kind of get to know some of you in this space. And if you have to come back and watch the replay will be up in this community as well. So just, hashtag replay if you're watching it in hindsight. So my story, and if you know me already, you probably know my story. I started my business nearly a decade ago. So I've been doing this for a really long time. I've been in the online space for a really long time. And at the time, I started my business as a brand new mom. Also, I came into the entrepreneurial world knowing that I didn't want to go back to a 9-to-5, knowing that I wanted to homeschool my kiddos. I now have 3 kiddos that I'm home with full time. And I wanted to be able to create revenue doing something that I loved to do. And at the time, that started out in network marketing. I'll be completely honest, I was a Beachbody girl. Definitely not an aligned business for me. And I kind of learned that the hard way. So as I have been able to dive deeper into my human design and understanding my unique energy, I now know that I am a 3-line in human design, and I'm meant to experiment. I am meant to fail forward and then teach and share from my experience. So I've learned a lot of things the hard way, to be completely honest. And when I started my business, I was used to your typical 9-to-5. I was the workhorse. I'm a manifesting generator. I was the workhorse in my life forever. I'm also the older sister, so that I think plays a big role into who I am. I was used to working really hard and hustling for success, right? Hustling for recognition. And so in my business, that turned into this business model of charging hourly and scraping by, right? Like reaching to get clients. And in the beginning, because I was a brand new mom, that worked for a little while. And then I had kid number 2 and kid number 3. And as you can imagine, there were lots and lots of ebbs and flows in that journey. So what I had to figure out in my business, and what I've been able to really hone in on, is being able to create success that works for your life and being able to build a business around what your life requires of you, right? So I homeschool my kids. We just got back from homeschool group like 15 minutes ago. I've got 2 sleeping babies right now, which is a miracle. That's why I'm here. And I only show up in my business when it feels good for me to do so, and not because I have to. And the reason that I've been able to do this is because I was able to shift my business model, where instead of asking for sales, right, hunting down clients, trying to find somebody to pay me for something, which is where I started, nearly a decade later, I show up in my business with the mindset, the knowing that my success is inevitable, that clients will come to me because I've built brand authority, because I have really honed in on my brand positioning and my strategy on the back end. I have systems in place, and I have signature offers that I know work and get my clients incredible results. So I have my signature branding and web design package. I have my VIP days, and all of these structures fit into my business in a way that feels good for me. So one of the biggest things that I see when it comes to scaling without burnout is that you need to have a foundation to stand on. And for me, I thought in the beginning that hourly was going to work, right? Because that's what I was used to. That's what was comfortable. I thought that I was trading time for money. And if I did it good enough, right, then clients would like me and my audience would see me as an authority. That actually led to resentment. It led to me being in a space in my business where I was working all hours of the day and hustling to get clients. And it wasn't sustainable, especially as a mom with young kids. And so something happened. I'm so bad with timelines, but it was probably about 2019 where I shifted in my business from project-based, hourly-based projects, right? Where I would quote somebody based on how much time it was going to take me, to project-based, to my signature packages, to being able to show up in the online space and be really confident in what I'm sharing, and to have knowing and trust that my clients were going to receive an incredible transformation from that. Now, being a service provider, it's a little different than being a coach or being somebody who is leading in a different capacity. But for me, my done for you packages ties in energy and strategy, right? I don't just work with people to make pretty designs. That's never been what I've been about. I get to like the soul of your business. And when I was able to shift my messaging and shift my positioning, then I started attracting the higher level clients that know that they are paying for an experience and they are paying for a transformation in their businesses that allows them to show up more confidently and more fully. So making that shift from hourly, and I might add like hourly, like you would be getting paid in retail hourly, because I'm a college dropout. I am self-taught in everything that I do. And so everything that I shared initially in my business was highly undervalued. I was charging in the very beginning, back in 2017, under $20 an hour for my services, which to me now blows my mind, right? Like right now, I can't even fathom charging at those rates. And it's not because I think that I'm better than anybody else. It's not because I, have a chip on my shoulder. It's because I know that my time, my expertise, and the transformation that I'm giving my clients is worth so much more. It's worth its weight in gold, right? So to charge hourly was, one, doing me a huge disservice, and two, doing my clients a huge disservice as well, because there are things in design, specifically in branding, that are very nuanced. Things like creating logos and graphics, that takes a lot of time. So if I was to charge somebody hourly, I was looking at how much time I was spending on a project and how much I was charging clients, and things were not matching up. And over the years, I have gotten really quick, efficient, and really fucking good at what I do, right? So charging hourly just didn't make sense for me anymore, because I was able to do things way faster than somebody else might be able to do them. But at the end of the day, the impact shift is what needed to happen for me in my business model. And my business will be different than yours, right? Especially if you're not a designer, you're not a marketing manager. But when I made that shift, I was able to make a bigger impact, and I was able to receive in my business what I desired, right? Now I'm homeschooling my 3 kiddos. One of them is of school age, 2 of them are in the toddler phase, which is a whole, if you have toddlers at home and you're running a business, like, holy cow, it is a full-time job, right? Just raising kids. So I knew in my business what I desired, and I reverse engineered how to get there. So that brings me to the 3 mistakes that entrepreneurs are making in their branding. And I'm specifically talking about branding And when I say branding, I mean your visuals, yes, and your energetic positioning, your messaging, the way that you're showing up, the level of confidence that you bring to the table. All of those things are intertwined. Branding is nuanced. Branding has layers, and that's what I get into with my clients. So the 3 common mistakes. The first one is misaligned values. What are your values in your life and in your business? There's going to be a crossover here, right? Many of us, visionary women, we create our businesses because we want to help, right? We want to make an impact. We want to make people's lives better in some way, shape, or form. And we also, more often than not, value our families. We value our own self-care and our ability to nurture ourselves. There are so many things to take into consideration. And for me, I value income. Like, I value making really good money doing what I love to do. So I want you to be looking at, if you are in a space where you're hitting a plateau, or you are ready to shift into this space of being able to scale and not just hustling for the next income injection, I want you to look at your values. Have you even thought about them recently? Because I know for me firsthand, life gets busy, business gets busy, but these are the foundational pieces of your brand. And this is what I walk through all of my clients with. We go through this in our first strategy session. What are your values? What is important to you? And how are you translating that in your business? How are you presenting that to your audience in every single piece of content that you're putting out there in your website, all of your media features? Is it really clear to the people that are meant to work with you what you deeply care about? Because when you share your values, and that's really crystal clear for your audience, they can self-identify as somebody who wants to work with you, whether that's in a coaching capacity, done for you, whatever it is, right? So first one, look at your values. The second one, and I'm the queen of this, I will say. The second one is overcomplicating. How are you overcomplicating your brand right now? A lot of times, my clients come to me spinning in circles, right? And they're not techie, they're not designers. They don't want to be spending time on the back end of things. They don't want to be creating systems. They don't want to be tweaking their website for hours and hours. However, comparison has led them, and imposter syndrome a lot of the times has led them to think that they need to have all the bells and whistles figured out, often before they can launch or share their business, right? So like I mentioned before, I'm a 3-line in human design. I have failed forward so many times. I show up in my business imperfectly 99% of the time. It's honestly a miracle that nobody is screaming at me in the background of this video. And that is what my business has been built on, is a little bit of chaos, right? However, if I would have let myself hold back on building this business because things weren't perfect, I wouldn't have a business. I wouldn't be the primary income earner in my family. I would not have just bought my dream home this past year. And I certainly would not have been able to work with hundreds of women in creating their soul aligned brands as well. So before you overanalyze and overcomplicate, I want you to invite yourself to show up today in your business as you are, perfectly imperfect. Because when you do that, when you stop overcomplicating and you just show up and you just get messy, most of the time, that is the most aligned thing that you can do. Because people are not hiring you for perfection. They are hiring you for your expertise. They are hiring you for your experience, your stories, your lived reality, and they are hiring you for a transformation. So for me to bring in clients, I know that the clients that are coming to me are stuck in the overcomplicated process, and I make that easy, right? I take the weight of that off of their shoulders. So how are you showing up in your business? Overcomplicating, trying to have it all figured out, trying to map out your next launch and then getting stuck and then pushing it to the back burner because you don't want to do it, right? Or you're letting fear run the show. So overcomplication is one of the things that entrepreneurs do when it comes to branding, right? You look at all of the pretty pictures on Pinterest and you think, well, maybe if I change that color to this color, people will hire me. Really doesn't have a whole lot to do with your success, quite honestly. I have rebranded visually in my business a handful of times. And yes, visuals matter 100%. I'm a designer here. But what matters the most is your energy and your ability to show up with confidence in your business. Number 3, I'm going to wrap this up because I think that I probably am going to run out of nap time. If this is helpful for you, if this is resonating, drop a little comment below, drop an emoji, tell me where you get caught up in this and or what your next goal is. Are you ready to scale? Are you turning to passive income? What does it look like in your business that you are desiring? Because if you can identify one of these 3 mistakes in your business, this is an invitation to spend some time on your branding. Okay, number 3, copying trends. This one might get me canceled. I am a marketing strategist. I have done social media management for clients for well over 8 years now. I have grown accounts organically to over 50,000 followers. I have been behind the scenes of multi-million-dollar companies, and I can tell you one thing for certain, and that is that trends don't actually matter. And they're fun. They can give you a little boost of engagement. They can give you a little bit of happy hormones, right? To make you think that you are getting the success that you desire. And trends are extremely fleeting. Here today, gone tomorrow. Here now, gone in an hour, right? The social media landscape, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, you name it, all of the platforms that have come and gone in the last decade, the trends, the things that people are doing to try to get attention and try to climb the ladder on social media to get the vanity metrics, they can be helpful to a certain extent. But copying trends is not a long-term growth strategy. It's going to leave you burnt out. It's going to leave you misaligned because you're going to be doing things that don't feel good to you in your business. I don't know how many women I have talked to that have told me, I actually just really don't want to dance for another reel. Awesome. Then don't. This is your permission slip, okay? So copying trends can be helpful. There's a time and space for that. And it is not the end all be all when it comes to creating your brand. In fact, if you pour some of that energy and attention into the foundational pieces of your brand, you will see long-term success in a much more easeful way and an aligned way, in a way that doesn't leave you burnt out and that allows you to grow and scale without feeling like you're putting on some circus show. Okay? So 3 mistakes that I see entrepreneurs making when it comes to their branding. Misaligned visuals, misaligned, values, misaligned values, overcomplicating the process, and copying the trends because they think they have to, right? So if any of those, if you can raise your hand to any of those, and I know I can, right? I've been there, done that. This is your invitation to shift in your business in a more aligned way. So when you create branding that fuels your growth without burnout, this is going to allow you to create the success that you desire. And this is exactly what I help my clients do. So in this space, because you're watching this video, if you've gotten to the end of this video, first of all, hey, thanks for being here because I like to chat. This is why I have a podcast. This is why my clients have Voxer access to me so that we can chit chat. But if you have been watching, I want to gift you my high impact brand checklist because there is something different that 6-figure entrepreneurs do. There are 10 essential things that successful entrepreneurs do in their business when it comes to their brand. And I want to give you this checklist as a short, sweet overview of where you can be paying attention and what you can be refining and how you can start making these shifts today. Not in 6 months, not in a year, because you think that you have to overcomplicate things, but today. So I'm going to put the link in the comments below. I almost said the show notes, but this is not a podcast, although it may get turned into one. So stay tuned. If you're listening to the Magnetic Boss podcast, if you're subscribed, you might get to hear this on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you listen. But I'll be putting the link in the comments for this free high impact brand checklist. It is going to give you a really good oversighting of where you need to be paying attention to some of these leaks in your branding. So that is all I have for you today. I hope this is helpful. I would love to know where, again, you're at in your business, what you're calling in next, where you find yourself getting stuck when it comes to your branding, your positioning, your authority building, because I would love to mastermind with you in the comments. So thank you for being here. Link is in the comments if you want to connect with me. It's calandramartin.com, where you can find anything and everything. And I'll chat with you all real soon.